Sylvia, if you want. I don't want to leave you behind. You want to react to it? No? Okay, you go to the next one.
Thank you. My name is Tom Measham from CSR Australia. I also have an agreement and a disagreement with the first question. So I think I agree in the sense that there are indicators of good governance. So I was quite surprised by Mark's presentation that there are no indicators of good governance. And previously you mentioned transparency, and there are others. So, for example, mechanisms of participation or influence in society and all these things. Where I disagree is that are these things relevant? I think they definitely are. And I think it's not so much, I think, in terms of providing the best policy advice, but what it really does is it brings the profile of the questions, and it puts them on the political agenda, and it seems to really IPCC. But rather than saying indicators of good governance, I would say possibly the question here in the scenarios is different modes of governance. So if you have, you listed a couple of quite simple differences between more autocratic or democratic modes of governance. I think this is a more useful way of looking at those different scenarios. So different types of governance or different aims in terms of adaptation. Sort of more useful way of looking at it.
Okay.
Yeah, just to clarify, when I said there were no governance indicators, I meant in scenarios. So they have been measured historically. There is baseline data, but there aren't quantitative measures of these things that move forward in time. And I certainly agree that there's a richer set of ways of capturing the things that matter most than simply democracy or non-democracy. My point is that for things that are, the baseline data is really good, and at an overall level, surely it matters. We should at a minimum include those things. And then we probably need to deepen the trail along the lines you're suggesting.
Anyone else?
Stockholm University. I think that, first of all, also participated on Monday a very interesting workshop. It was very useful material, and I'm happy that you who didn't attend on Monday also had the possibility of having the flavor of the two presentations. I think with regard to Stacey's question, and challenge, you have to have a general reflection on scenarios, not necessarily only with regard to climate change, but there is a sort of unfolding of functions. So what types of functions am I thinking? And this is sort of experiences from EU world development scenarios for the year 2025. Fairly big group, 20 persons, dealing with what is happening with the world. And it's sort of fairly timely to be here because it was in the end called the Asian Center. So the first thing is conceptual. There are 3 points. Conceptual, so how things are ordered. And we have also seen the my presentations here, a group and set of dimensions. But the ordering has to do with the questions. The issue has to do with which dimensions you are grouping these drivers on, and also the causalities that could be involved. The second one is a sort of negotiation. The first one is analytical. It could be one person sitting just alone thinking. The second one has a collective feature, and it is sort of the exchange in the small group, and you sort of, especially if it's sort of broadly composed, you say, well, I don't think these drivers are the ones. there are other drivers. So I agree on the drivers, but I don't think that you have got a clue on how these drivers look like. So that's a very important part of the process. And finally, I think there is a didactic aspect, sort of the transfer of the thinking to the next stage and taking it to the more consolidation type and outreach type of situation. So about these, I think in some, it has to do with stabilizing, not finalizing positions. And I think it's also supporting through a process that is sort of open-ended and not aiming at this is the final goal for whatever 2025 or 2015 climate change or whatever. It is a means for a broader process where the scenario development is a part of a broader analytical and also didactical structure.
Well, actually, tying back a bit to Stacey, I think, I mean, I'm still a beginner at this particular with climate scenarios, but having followed sometimes meetings in the climate negotiations where the old scenarios of the deserts are used as kind of battlefields for controversies, there is a process there